If you can see my screen, okay?
Yes, we can see your screen and we can see you. Thank you.
Perfect. Just move the presenters to the side here. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Winter, VP of Product and Customer at PeerLedger. It's my pleasure to chat with you all today about how blockchain technology is being used to address environmental, social, and governance risks in metals and minerals supply chains. Before I dive into the sustainability bits, let me tell you a little bit about PeerLedger. PeerLedger is a Canadian technology company based in Nova Scotia. We were founded in 2016, and we developed a responsible supply chain platform called Mimosi Connect. Mimosi Connect gives companies a trusted, immutable record of transactions, documents, and metrics across their entire supply chain. Mining companies can use traceability transactions and metrics to monitor their supply chains and identify potential environmental, human, and labor rights risks at all stages. In 2017, we became the first company to track gold supply chains using blockchain. And since then, we have successfully tracked steel, mica, cobalt, and a number of other raw materials across international supply chains. We're here to talk about mining, so why focus on environmental, social, and governance, also known as ESG? How is any of this relevant to the industry? Well, let's start by looking at the regulatory requirements. Earlier this year, the new EU regulation on conflict minerals came into effect. As you may already know, this regulation requires companies to comply with the OECD responsible sourcing standards and due diligence framework, particularly in conflict-affected and high-risk areas. Then there's also the reputational and financial risk. Several years ago, a major financial institution discovered the gold it was trading was illegally obtained from a warlord. The repercussions were so severe that although this company is still in existence, they no longer trade in gold. I'll give you a slightly different example for fraud. There was a large copper company that had several tons of its copper stolen from its facilities and replaced with inferior quality copper. By the time the fraud was discovered, it is uncertain precisely how much copper had already been stolen. Then we have consumer demand. It's impossible to deny that consumers are more empowered than ever to ask about how the goods they buy are produced. They want to know that their dollars are supporting companies that care about people and the planet. And then finally, there's the competitive advantage and differentiation that comes along with focusing on ESG. Mining companies and supply chain partners that are able to prove their responsible sourcing and sustainability measures work can extract higher premiums for their products. And this is something that we've actually seen with our own customers. PeerLedger's Mimosi Connect platform encompasses several ESG use cases that may be of interest to the mining community. And I'll talk about 3 of them now. From an environmental standpoint, upstream and downstream traceability make it possible to actively monitor and report on Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions. From a social perspective, we have implemented several controls to help mitigate human rights risks, and we support industry stakeholders who want to conduct business with artisanal miners. From a governance standpoint, our technology supports the OECD 5-step framework, and we have lots of experience working with government touchpoints. We are also part of the Responsible Mineral Initiative's Blockchain Interoperability Work Group. Why use blockchain for traceability? Well, blockchain makes transparency with privacy a reality. Companies can securely share information in real time and immediately verify the authenticity of data, certificates, and reports. Our Mimosi Connect platform streamlines communication with government regulators, auditors, accreditation bodies, and NGOs, and gives companies strict control over what information is shared with their supply chain partners. The environmental impact of public versus private blockchains is, of course, very relevant to this conversation on ESG. I won't get into the technical nitty-gritty, but in a nutshell, public blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum require huge amounts of energy to conduct proof-of-work transactions. However, Mimosi Connect is a private blockchain built on Hyperledger Fabric. As a result, our energy usage is comparable to other cloud-based solutions that companies are already using. Now, I'd like to quickly address a few things that tend to make the mining industry apprehensive about traceability. Stranding risk. This is a big one. Competition is growing, so how do you know that you're picking a winner? Interoperability is one of the ways to protect your organization from stranding risk. We've already proven Mimosi Connect's interoperability in a mining and refining context with a Fortune 10 company, a large gold refinery, and another blockchain provider. Lack of readiness is another one, and this encompasses technological and social readiness. Some companies mistakenly believe they need to upgrade their ERP systems or have a lot of technical support before they can even consider implementing blockchain traceability. Then there's also the misconception that every supply chain partner needs to be on board on day one, and this simply isn't true. Cost. The mere mention of blockchain invokes thoughts of million-dollar implementations. The reality is blockchain traceability can be affordable, especially when you factor in the risk mitigation, increased trust, and real-time insights that you get. Peerledger also offers a variety of pricing options that make our solution affordable for companies of all sizes, not just large-scale mines. So why choose us? Of all the options in the market, why go with Peerledger? Experience. We are experienced. Our platform has been in use by actual customers since 2017. As a result, we have a much more stable and mature system than our competitors. All our solutions are developed in-house, and we have successfully patented our technology. Flexibility. Mimosi Connect is a horizontal platform giving you the flexibility to track and trace almost any material or product. Scalability. Mimosi Connect supports rapid scaling so that we can grow with you. Ease of use. Our customers always comment on how easy it is to use our platform. Usually people get a bit intimidated when they learn that they're using blockchain, but our intuitive user interface makes adoption a breeze. Customization. Mimosi Connect can be customized to map essentially any type of workflow. We aim to match real-world processes as closely as possible. And finally, value for money. Peerledger was founded with a vision of traceability for all. In accordance with this philosophy, we strive to make our solutions affordable to companies of all sizes. Our wide range of traceability transactions, visual traces, and reporting provide never-before-seen data and insights. Forging a path forward together. Supply chain traceability software is only one part of the solution. Sustainability in the mining industry requires support from all stakeholders, including mines, policymakers, regulators, NGOs, and of course, local communities. Forums like this are an excellent start. Traceability pilots, public-private partnerships have proven very, very useful in testing how blockchain technology can bring the metals and minerals supply chains together for the benefit of all. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about Peerledger and Mimosi Connect, please visit our website, www.peerledger.com. To schedule a demo or to get a quote, please send a message to sales@peerledger.com, or to contact me directly, you can email Stephanie@peerledger.com. You can also find us on social media using the hashtag @Peerledger. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Excellent presentation, and thank you very much for being so much on time. So we do have a question for you, and I would like to introduce here Dina Klementiva, who's joining us from Switzerland. She is part of our company chain team. Dina is a geologist as well. And yes, please, Dina, go ahead.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Stephanie, for a great presentation. I often hear the question, how much does it actually cost and how long does it actually take? And could you maybe give a gap, especially in terms of timescales? You mentioned it's really important to have all the partners on board from the beginning. Maybe you have experience, what's the minimum time of implementation and what's the longest it has taken because of maybe someone was not on board from the beginning? Thanks a lot.
No problem. Great question. Thank you, Dina. So I'll start by talking about the price. So we have a subscription-based pricing model. So there's an annual subscription that companies pay in order to have access to the platform. Our subscription prices vary based on the size of the company as well as the volume of transactions that they will be conducting and the complexity of their supply chain. So subscriptions can start anywhere from $5,000 a year, depending on the company, and then move upwards from there again, depending on any customizations or integrations that have to take place. But essentially what we do is work with the companies to make sure that what we're providing is affordable and sustainable for them to continue using in the long run. Now, in terms of the setup time, that varies from company to company. In general, what we have seen is that companies tend to do a traceability pilot first because they want to see, for 3 to 6 months, whether or not the tool really works for them. And, they want to identify what change processes need to take place internally in order to make the tool as useful as possible. On our side, it takes about 2 weeks to get you set up and have the users trained. So we've done this several times already. The delay really comes from the company side. If there are any integrations that they would like to have done, that may add a week or two onto the timeline, depending. It also is dependent upon the availability of their resources for training. But for us, it takes about 2 weeks for training and onboarding to take place. So it's quite rapid, depending on where the company is at and how quickly they would like to proceed. I hope that helps.